down. I know Director Joyner did an amazing job. I've already been hearing about it. And what you're going to see is that a lot of this is very similar. We're going to talk about mindset. We're probably going to talk about it in a slightly different way. But the good news is that we're not learning all these different languages. We're just layering them and learning the same language. All right. So we're going to actually break down two distinct types of mindset, as it relates to our businesses. First, I'd like everybody to do something. I know you have pens, papers, etc. I would like you to write down the number of years you have been a business owner. Put that boldly at the top of your page, and the number of years you have been an employee. I know some of us started working when we were 14, 10. So some of us have 70 years. So just put down how many years you have been an employee and an entrepreneur. Everybody got that? Good. You know me. I would like to always make sure that I am in sync with what I'm talking about or reading or understanding. So I go to the dictionary a lot. So we're talking about mindset. When I was looking it up, and it's a conglomeration of it, I guess, but mindset, a collection of thoughts and beliefs formed by previous experiences that shape our behaviors, AKA our actions, and help us make sense of the world. Does that make sense to everybody when you're talking about somebody's mindset? And it can change, obviously, because it's based on past experiences. Mindsets reminds me of when I was taking French lessons, when you had this philosopher, he said, je pense donc je suis. I think, therefore I am. Think and grow rich. Our thoughts, they help to permeate what our actions are. And you don't have to stick with the same thoughts and mindset. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to be open to a lot of different experiences. And so why is that important? Because you are going to be doing things that you have not done before. Because otherwise you'd be a very successful entrepreneur right now at whatever level that you are. So we're going to be talking about two types of mindsets, an employee mindset and an entrepreneur mindset. And let's think about this. Some people say, well, an employee. Here's my definition of employee. You can jot down what yours is. Mine is that when we are an employee, somebody tells us what to do, what they want done, how they want it done, when they want it done, and they'll decide how much to pay us to get it done. Does that fit anybody's definition of what an employee is? And then we, of course, the control that we have is we can decide, I'm not taking it anymore and I'm leaving. Or they can decide to what? Ask us to leave. But that's about our only choices if we're an employee. Now, an entrepreneur is something a little different. An entrepreneur creates, you see that, hear that word, creates new business, a new business. Now, an entrepreneur bears much of the risk, but here's the other benefit. An entrepreneur enjoys much of the rewards. Too much is given. Well, never mind, I'll skip that analogy, but you understand there's some risk involved in there, but there's some great rewards if you choose to be bold enough and brave enough to be an entrepreneur. So already you can start to see those are two different mindsets, completely different. And it plays out in our behaviors and it impacts our business. So look at the numbers that you put up there. I do know that most of us have years of being molded, trained, rewarded, punished to be a good employee, right? Because our behaviors reflect that. Because if you weren't a good employee, you wouldn't be employed, right? So again, employee behaviors you're going to see don't serve us well when we're the CEO of our own business. Okay. However, 99% of us are part-time, right? So that means most of us are are fighting or working against being an employee by day and an entrepreneur by night/weekends. I call it almost schizoid. You've got to flip the switch and completely do some different things. And if you don't quite get them right or get them right soon enough, you don't get the results that you are probably looking for. I call that syndrome, right? So what I want to do right now is just to introduce you to 3 partners who are going to help us, as some of our folks like to say, unpack this a little bit. All right. This young lady, and when they come up, they're going to give you a little, some of you don't know them, who they are. And then they're going to share how many years they've been an entrepreneur and how many years they have or still are, they're all working, been employees. All right. And then we're going to go back to, unpacking. So the first young lady I'd like to bring up has been with us, and she is a silver builder, actually. This young lady studies this business, and she is committed to learning and to helping other people. So I would like to bring up Norlette Daniels, and if you'll simply unmute yourself.
Good evening, Director Roan. Thank you.
All right. So tell us a little bit about who you are and how many years employee.
Great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Good evening, everyone. I'm Norlette Daniel, and I am a mother, a wife, and educator. But I have been in this business for 1 year and 5 months, and I have been an employee for 37 years.
All right, then. I think you're a subject matter expert on being an employee. Thank you very much. And our next young lady, Dorothy Fleming, again, heart of gold, a gold builder. And she also has both sides of the business that she's working seriously in. So Dorothy, if you'll come up and introduce yourself, same thing.
Hello, everyone. Once again, thank you for allowing me to be here. And my name is Dorothy Fleming out of Columbus, Ohio. And I'm a wife and a mother and a grandmother. And I have been in my business for approximately 2 years. And I've been on my corporate America job for 19 years.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And probably furthest away from me in California, this young lady is out of the Virgin Islands. And again, when you meet her, those of you who know her, she's so serious about learning and helping other people. She's, again, as I said, she's a goal builder, but I'll let her tell you a little bit more. Nada Salmon, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you and for the opportunity, and good evening, everyone. As we say in the Virgin Islands, good night. My name is Nada Salmon, and I am a mother, a grandmother, soon to be wife. And I have been an employee for 46 years, and I have been in this business on April 11th, will make 15 months, 1 year, 3 months.
But who's counting, right?
Right, who's counting?
You're trying to catch me about how many years as a corporate employee I was. Okay, so we're setting the stage right now. I want everybody to internalize this, because when you walk away from tonight, as you do every training, it has to be personal. What is this going to do for me to help me? So we're going to pull up about 2 or 3 principles, okay? First of all, which is interesting, which I meant to say about you, Dorothy, when I called the ladies, and then I was speaking to Dorothy, I said, some of the principles are going to be pulled a little bit out of a book. And when I told her the book, she says, oh, I have that. Now, you'll soon see that's music to your ears when you're talking to a partner and they already are, on their path. But we're going to talk about some principles that began from a book by Keith Cameron Smith. I know most people have read Top 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and middle class. He even has one that top 10 distinctions between winners and whiners. I will tell you that will step on some people's toes. But this one happens to be the top 10 distinctions between entrepreneurs and employees. Again, we're taking some basic principles out of that, but it's a conglomeration of a few things. The first one is, how do entrepreneurs and employees approach education, personal and professional development, and entertainment, right? So let me start with the employees. Most employees will defer or want more immediate gratification. You know, we like entertainment. And when I'm talking about entertainment, I'm talking about anything that has, that gives us pleasure, that distracts us, that is fun, is relaxing, has amusement for us. I mean, who wouldn't sign up for that, right? So usually entertainment is more immediate, okay? Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, tend to, especially when you compare it to training, courses, development, studying, sacrifice, people are like, you know, maybe not so much. I don't know that I need to be doing all that educating myself, certifying, and all that development. But it is so critical to our businesses when we approach that. Professional development. What is the benefit to us? Because what it does is it improves our skills and knowledge and sharpens our expertise. You know, we're now the CEOs, so we want to be ahead of the game. Even, you know, as in the travel industry, we've all learned by now that we need to know more than our clients, don't we? We need to be professionally developed. People can get access to a lot. Why? What do we have to offer them that helps us in our business, which is growing money? When you are professionally developed, it's going to give you all the training you need to boost your interpersonal skills, meaning working with our clients, our prospects, our partners, we get stronger. We get to experiment with all these different Zooms and other communication strategies because we learn how to do it. Some of us kicking and screaming, but those are the kinds of things that an entrepreneur would be willing to do. And it helps you handle your objections, you know, make projections and things of that nature. And since most of us do this business part-time, it really, when you professional and you learn and grow and develop, then you're going to be much more effective and efficient. Before I go any further though, I'd like to bring the ladies back up again. And if they would share their slant, their perspective of what it means to, you know, approach your business with a focus on educating, being certified, you know, personal and professional development, those kinds of things. And we'll just keep the way we started. Norlette, what would you share from your perspective?
Yes, ma'am. From my perspective, I'll start as an employee. As an employee, my mindset has been, and because I am still employed on my JOB, is focused on what is my job description? What was I hired to do? What are the things that I need to do to continue to be employed? Also, as an employee, there is not much encouragement to self-develop. That is something that I have to look for myself. But on the other side, as an entrepreneur in this business, what I have experienced and learned is that we are encouraged to self-develop. And when I say that, like the certifications that are there for us, I have become certified in Disney, Marriott, Princess, Royal Caribbean, and those certifications have built my confidence and also have turned around to assist me in the bookings that I am currently doing.
Mm-hmm. I know that you invested in 2 big events, which is ITQ and Planet Convention? Why did you do that?
First is because I know that they are going to help me in my business. Also, to the things that I am learning are helping me personally. I am looking forward to convention. I want to be able to expose myself to all of the teachings that will be happening there, and also meeting all of the other partners so that I can collaborate and learn. Very important as a CEO of a business.
Mhm. And you mentioned something that was pretty clear, and I can attest to that as an employee. And when I was with employees, one of the first things we cut out of a budget when we're tight is the training. One of the first things, because usually it's because we know that it's a long term before you start seeing the effect of having employees that are not trained. So over here as an entrepreneur, we understand that the investment is pretty critical. And when we hear our new partners who are saying things like, I just don't have the time, or, I'm kind of broke right now and I can't afford to take this training or this certification, even though I know it could help me. Or sometimes people say, my business is going good enough. That's that whole slight edge principle. You can't immediately see it, but entrepreneurs understand investing now yields longer, better results at the end. So thank you for that. I'm going to go to you, Ms. Fleming, and you actually are already in that field to a degree, but how do you approach your personal development and education as an entrepreneur that is different from being an employee?
And that's a great question. Thank you very much. But you know what, at times I tend to delay my gratification and make the sacrifices, just like when I attended the ITQ this past weekend for the last 3 days, it certainly helped me to gain more knowledge about my suppliers. And then I was in my office here at home for about 12 hours working both of my businesses, even after the ITQ. And the family got a little upset, but once again, that's part of, delaying the gratification. But by going to ITQ, I know that when I learn a lot, I can earn a lot. So I know that when I educate myself more and I get certified in certain courses, that's going to help grow my business. And not only that, but most importantly, after I begin to, self-develop by reading at least 10 to 15 minutes per day, it keeps me sharp. And then it allows me to be able to relate to others in conversations with my directors, with my business partners, and just like I said, most importantly, how to overcome objections, from my prospects, because what I tend to understand is I hear the same thing from different people. So by me reading, it definitely helps me to overcome those objections from my prospects.
Thank you very much for that. Naida, what's your perspective?
Well, as I was listening to the other two young ladies speak, I think about learning as an employee for me was more linear than deep. And as an entrepreneur, it is more for when you learn train as an employee, you train to get promoted. But when you train as an entrepreneur, you train to grow your business and to expand your business. And I also was at ITQ this weekend, and the ability to be able to be invested in, and they look to you instead of you looking to your employer to help you, they're looking to you to help them. So it's a win-win situation. So when you educate yourself in your business, it's a win-win situation for you and your business and the people that you're working with.
Thank you. Team, when you are an employee, you're again told what to learn, what classes or subjects. And the purpose of that is so what? The company can make a profit, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's the only reason that you're trained or et cetera, is for the company to make a profit. You have your own company. You are the company. So minimally, would you not do for your business so that you can earn the profits, right? I want everybody, if you will do a couple of things, either you can put it in the chat box and Director Dawkins, I'm gonna ask again, more for me maybe, but at the end of the Zoom, if you'll keep it up for a little bit so I can jot some notes down, because I'm learning as well. But for you all, either in the chat box or yourself, this is my question for you. What is the biggest educational investment that you've made, are making in your business for your growth? I'm not looking for what's the most expensive. I'm asking, what is the biggest investment you personally have put in? Like, for an example, if you're asking me, the one thing that immediately pops to my brain is that every single year since I have been with, as an entrepreneur, I have gone to every single Planet or marketing convention. That has yielded me the biggest return. And when I brought one of the three ladies said, when I go with my team, it's not just me. My whole organization is getting the education. We're all learning and we're earning. So in the chat, please, what is the biggest investment so far that you are making or plan to make in your education? You'll take a few moments. I'm seeing a lot of convention, but I'm also seeing like getting certified. Yes. I also like people are saying Super Saturdays. That's part of our business, you know, especially those that are in person, reading some books. We haven't talked a lot about that, but that is so key and easy to do. I heard someone say 15 minutes. Excellent. Okay, so the next one, you know, this is something that we probably are going to circle back around at some point in time, because it is such a big one, and we could spend a lot of time unpacking that. And this is a question around what is the difference that, well, you know what? I'm gonna read it exactly out of one of the books, and it says, entrepreneurs have an empowering perspective of failure. Employees see failure as bad. In fact, when you talk to employees, we have been so molded and put into a certain place that we know that we see failure as something to avoid at all costs. And for many of us, it's a form of rejection. And everybody knows what that R word does for us, rejection, right? Excuse me. Failure, not meeting a goal or a lack of success. You know what I did just before then? I put in there, I Googled it, a synonym for failure. Do you know, popped up, I counted them, three columns. There were 45 other ways of saying you're a failure or something is a failure. Is that pretty powerful, the way we allow failure and the word to crunch us? So let's talk about how entrepreneurs have this empowering perspective of failure. You know, empowering, when people are talking about you're empowered or to empower someone, all we're talking about is when you're empowered, it makes you, or if you empower other people, to feel more confident, stronger, especially if you're talking about controlling your lives, or as I like to say, claiming your rights. When you are empowered, you can surge forward. Right? So here's a very easy example about how winners or champions can look at quote unquote failure, not making it, not operating at the highest standards or what have you. Do you know that right now the batting average for top players in baseball is like 316 to, what did I write down? 366. Do you know the Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson? His average was something like to 260s, 260. That basically is saying things like, if you went up to bat 10 times, almost definitely 6 of them, you did not hit the ball well enough to make it to first base. That means that 6 times you turned around and took your happy self and sat back in the dugout. You didn't move the ball, you didn't move the player, you didn't help score. Those odds would not seem to be very good, would they? But that doesn't stop them. They're saying they're not going to keep going up to bat because they're learning for something. And this is after they've been practicing. They've seen all kinds of spitballs, fastballs, every curveball, everything. Think about that. Going up to bat, knowing that 6 out of 10 times, that's it for the top players. Let's put like maybe the average. 8 times you go up to bat, you're not going to even make it to first base. People would think, well, that's failing. But if you're empowered about how you think about it different, you'll be looking at it differently. Entrepreneurs understand that if we don't have failures, we cannot have what? What can we have? Put it in the chat box. If we don't have lots of failures, what can we not have? Growth, success, success, success. So if that's the equation, lots of failures equals success, might have us start thinking differently about what the perception of failure really is. Failures, let me ask you this. Think about this. Think about all the people who have taught you something. Your traditional educators, your Girl Scout leader, your swim coach, an elder in your community. They taught you something, right? If you were open to listening. That's exactly what failures is. Consider it as teaching entrepreneurs something. And we'll talk about that on the back end of that. But our mindset says, and that's all of us, because all of us have moved a lot further than being an employee with how our limited vision of failure is. But it's telling us that there's something I can learn here, that I can take him to my next move. There's something I can learn. Norlette Daniels, we've been on a journey together. So let's talk about what failure and how you have made some adjustments and how you do your business based on perceived failures.
Yes, Director Roan, thank you. I have learned as an entrepreneur that rejection or failure is not something to take personal. And if I could just be transparent for a moment, that is something that I had done before. I have reached out, and like many of us probably have, to family members, my sister. And I took it personal that she did not want to join the business, but then I realized she was not rejecting me, she was rejecting the opportunity. And her rejection just meant not now. So when you get those no's and rejections, it just means possibly not now. Versus as an employee, when I have been rejected or my ideas have been rejected, it's very discouraging. I am not as willing to take that opportunity to step out and be, innovative, because my ideas were shut down. But in this business, no, that just means not now. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. I like that word you use, innovative. Remember when we talked about an entrepreneur creates? Well, that's what we do in our business. We take systems, of course, but we can be creative and make sure that there are no limits to us, to what we can do. Okay, so Dorothy, What have you learned about failure and how it has changed your approach or thinking about it is changing how your business is growing?
Yeah, and again, just becoming an entrepreneur, I've changed the way that I look at failure now. I embrace, failure now, and why? Because it absolutely crushed me. When people kept telling me no, I was getting discouraged, and then I just started to giving up. But then I had a certain amount of hours, that I worked my business per day after my corporate America job. But you know what, when I got back and I had to think, and revisit my why, the next day was just a new day for me. So I got back up prospecting again, and I decided that I would go one more extra hour over what I had already planned my schedule to be to work my business. And guess what? I decided to redirect myself on my follow-up list on a particular prospect, and they said yes, they would give it a try. So then I did it again, going to my follow-up list. And guess what? The next person said, I'll give it a try. So just the small changes, over time can amount to big impacts. So that's when I decided that I would have to stay consistent, continue to do the work, and certainly don't forget about my follow-up. So as we all have said time and time again, the fortune is in the follow-up. But as me being on my corporate America job, the past 19 years, of which I'm truly blessed for, I know what it feels like to take a pay cut and still have residual bills coming in with limited income. And I also know how it feels to wait a whole year to receive a raise for $1.62. And then I also know what it feels like to be to have a certain amount of PTO that you have available for vacations, for funerals or anything that I needed to take time off for. I'm living a life where my income and my hours is being controlled by somebody else. But by being an entrepreneur and being in this business for the past 2 years, I've already given myself $10 raises. I've already been promoted 3 times, and I have options to work from anywhere at any time. And now I've positioned myself to receive residual income for those residual bills now. So I've also learned that entrepreneur, the wealth isn't built overnight, but over an extended period of time, and I've also understood to, just to be patient, because patience is needed, and just never, ever give up.
Thank you very much on that. One of the things that when you can see rewards, it helps you to those perceived failures or things are not working. It usually allows us to keep pushing forward. Naida. Yes, I know we talked about a few things, not recently, but about this whole thing about not moving as quickly as you thought it was going to do. People, I'm so used to being successful elsewhere, and now I'm over here. What am I going to do? What's your perspective?
Well, my mindset has totally shifted as a CEO, and I realize that as a CEO, failure is necessary. And yes, in the beginning, it's like, how come they don't see it? Why can't they see the benefit of being in this business? Oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity. And the no's kept coming and the no's kept coming, and not right now, not right now. And I said, okay, I have this mantra: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I needed to readjust and see what I was looking at and to readjust myself, because I know that the path to success is in the failures. Failures enlighten me to strengthen my resolve to succeed. So when I changed my mindset and started looking at, okay, what is their buy-in? What is it that they need that this business can provide? Then I could see that the failures were less and the successes were more.
I like that part because as entrepreneurs, what we get to have is we get to be solution finders. We don't have to put Band-Aids on something to solve a problem. We get to actually be creative within, what we have to actually make some changes. I want to tell you some benefits of failure. I'm only going to give you a few because you're starting to see if you don't already. All failure means is basically for us as entrepreneurs is that something is not good enough yet in your business. The way you are looking for things, the goals you have, the dreams you have, the accomplishment that you want. It just means it's not good enough for what you wanted to do yet. Failure is, we talked about, it's about learning. Here's something I want you to really think about, you personally. When you internalize the way you change what failure is and start modeling that, that's going to be so important to your team. Because look at this, teams that fear failure, they tend to start delivering consistently mediocre results. I mean, that means they ghost on you. They don't feel encouraged to go out and but work to do something differently. You have a very stagnant team. If they see that they're going to be slapped down or that it's fatal, which is another thing that I would tell you, that failure in our business is never fatal and it's never final. So we can always readjust, move on, and do some different things. And the other little tip I'll tell you, most mental professionals, you know why they say that an underlying cause of fear of failure is, it's the fear or our perceived fear of the shame and embarrassment. And so we project that, so we shrink. I remember when my mentor said to me, with myself and my sponsor, we were together. And of course, I trust them and they trust me and we have a commitment. But I'll always remember he said, yeah, Tonda Sizwe, you were pushing it and ran through the tape and fell flat on your face. Now, that could be seen as perceived. Some people are like, whoa. But you know that all that was, is that it was my wake-up call for me to learn some lessons. And what did I apply? I could choose to say, well, I'm doing better than a lot of people or better than I thought. Or I could say, what are my lessons here if I want to actually move forward? So there's a lot that you can learn from, quote, perceived failures. Now we're kind of running out of time. I do want to say something here, and then ladies, I'm going to ask you for closing comments. Something that's very important is that how do for your assignment, you can write it down on your paper, but I would really like you to think about what is a breakthrough that you know that you need to do or to look at about what is a perceived failure. What has been a breakthrough for you regarding the whole concept of failure? And if you don't, we don't do it now. This is something that we can all do a whole study on fear and failure, because that is one of the most limiting. And I want everybody to remember our new partners coming in. This is brand new. We are talking about making the adjustment. And so we have to help them to see the bigger picture as well. But the last thing is how the entrepreneurs and educators approach generating income. Now, this I do want you to put down. In 2020, who made a little or a lot of income or had it coming in their household from the work they did building either of their businesses? In 2020, who made a little or a lot of money that came into their household as a result of them building either of their businesses? Everybody put it up there, because this is very important as entrepreneurs. Look at that. You did. Okay, because with entrepreneurs, well, let me put it this way. Employees, they're focused on making money. And when you're talking about making money, it's usually what you can see. And it's generally immediate. What do they always tell us? If you know how much money you're making every Friday or every other Friday, you will be broke the rest of your life. If you know how much money you're making. But entrepreneurs are focused on building wealth. Building takes what? Time. You heard that example, many of you, from one of the directors, but it came from, if you're doing reading, you'll know that. But essentially, the seed you plant today, you cannot eat that fruit the next day. So entrepreneurs are always thinking long-term. So when people come in saying, oh, I'm gonna try it, or I'll see how this works, that's an employee talking. Or that's an employee mindset talking. Another thing, I guess I would say, entrepreneurs never shortchange their, they never shortchange their business. They'll eat top ramen for a while if things are going tight in their business versus, I'm gonna have to stop paying. I'm gonna have to not go and attend some learnings or whatever, because money's funny all over. They will make sure that their golden goose is not killed. If you understand my meaning there. They will always find a way to keep their business at least maintaining, but basically thriving. They will build successful habits. Why do you think so many people who make a lot of money as network marketers, you look at them later and they're like, why are they broke? Because they did not build habits and skills that would take them through trying times. And really, a lot of people lose when they're making a lot of money because they don't have the skills or the habit. So that's what entrepreneurs do. They build those kinds of things. And they're definitely motivated to the end result, not short-term, not short-term at all. So I'm going to go around the horn. And ladies, if you could give us some closing comment for the group about anything that we've talked about. And we'll wrap this up because we want to recognize a few folks, a lot of folks, and do our announcements. Norlette, quick thought for us.
Yes, quick thought. Something that I wanted to share with the group is what I've learned from being an entrepreneur, and this experience is I have gained confidence in myself and seeing myself as a CEO and as a business owner. I did not have that confidence, and just the self-development and the mentorship that I've received has built my confidence. So I just want to thank you, Director Rome, and others who have aided in that. Thank you.
Thank you. We are all leaders, and you have been open, like most of us are, to go ahead and flourish. Thank you. Dorothy.
I would just like to say my belief has grown so much in this business, and just like everybody keeps saying, that the belief has to be there, because when you have the belief, then you can speak with a passion, about the amazing product that we have, and how our business, has only been here for 5 years, pretty much still a baby and 60,000 in. So, just going through the nose, continue to stay encouraged, continue to motivate one another, and stay closely connected with our directors so they can help, guide us and lead us. Yeah,
Thank you so
just
much.
follow our leadership. But that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Amazing team we all have. Naida.
Yes. Just remember that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I'm in the medical field, and this is so far from what I have been doing for the last 33 years. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter what area you've been in, you can succeed in this business if you follow the process and follow the leadership. So whatever you do, follow the process. Keep it super simple, as my director always says, and just do the mundane and do what you need to do, and listen to what your success coach and your directors tell you. They've been in this business longer than we have. And if they have become successful, know that you can too become successful. I'm proud of becoming successful, and I was in the medical field, or still am.
Okay, for the time being.
For the
Thank you.
time being.
Thank you, ladies. And again, tonight was really to talk about opening and the whole thing about mindset. You can add new information to get different results. We're not a tree, we're not stuck somewhere. And the possibilities are so endless, and everything that you have that is amazing about you, this will allow it to flourish right about now. So thank you very much. And this is a great time for us to say, Go Builders, get ready, get ready, get ready, because we want you to introduce some of our new partners that were part of that Soul 60,000 this last go round. What is it? Where you at?
Okay, I'll go first.
Thank you.
All right. I want to welcome to the team Miss Linda Schuler, and she was sponsored by Kokia Jones. And Kokia Jones had only been in the business a week, just to throw that in there. And then I also want to welcome Ms. Tiffany Field, and she was personally sponsored by myself.
Excellent, excellent. I love it. Old school is bringing partners in, and brand new. So it works. Thank you so much. Who else?
I guess I can go next.
All right. And you are?
I am Corey Glass out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Perfect.
And I have Daryl Hill out of the Indiana market. I personally brought him in to the business. I'd like to congratulate him. I've also brought in Raymond Reeves out of the Michigan market. I personally brought him in also.
Okay.
I have another, King is Ransom, out of Atlanta, Georgia market. I personally brought him in also.
Good for him.
And I have another, Lucretia Lovick. I also brought her in also this week. So congratulations to all four of them. And I'd like to congratulate them and welcome to the team.
We love to welcome them all, and congratulations to you, because you obviously are promoting yourself up through the ranks and showing that it can be done. So congratulations, Corey.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Excellent. Who else?
Great evening, I'm Selena Best, and I would like to announce a rank promotion of Corey Glass. He actually made Gold Builder just a day ago, and he has been in the business for a little over 30 days now. So congratulations, Corey, on that. Great job you're doing. I also would like to announce new business partner, Geneva Johnson has sponsored Jennifer Hughley out of the Tennessee market. And my newest business partner is Sherelle Harris out of the North Carolina market.
Good. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good evening, Director Roan. This is Dawn in Atlanta, and I'd like to welcome Tanisha Powell, who is in the Atlanta area, and she is sponsored by Tanisha Bow.
Oh, great. I was looking at that just recently. So yes, congratulations, both of you.
And this is Dorothy Fleming out of Columbus, Ohio. I would like to welcome Victoria Pegler out of Columbus, Ohio. She was personally sponsored by me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Congratulations.
This is Naita Salmon from St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, and I personally sponsored Misha Idolfoso from St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Great. Outstanding. Do we have anyone else?
Greetings, this is McKenna from San Diego, California, Director Roan. I have sponsored one new person last Saturday. Her name is Rebecca Jade.
Oh, well, welcome, Rebecca, and congratulations. Okay, one more time around the horn. Did we recognize? Okay, yes.
I'm not sure if Corey mentioned this. One of his new business partners, Melissa Spencer, brought a new partner in, Camille Butler.
Ah, okay. Well, you know what? When your team is growing so quickly, sometimes you might miss it, right? That's a good quote unquote
Well, she
problem.
brought in two partners, Melissa Butler and, nope, he mentioned her. He mentioned her.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Renee Crawford, did you already welcome Laurel Francis?
I will. Renee is having technical difficulties, so on behalf of Renee Crawford, yes, she personally sponsored Laurel Francis from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands.
All right, outstanding. All right, that's amazing and great, and a reaffirmation for all of us. So I'm going to go ahead and for closing comments and announcement, have our founding director, Sapphire Ring wearer, Heart of Gold, and someone who is always leading from the front, Director Joy Dawkins.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was awesome. I do have notes. I have notes. I'm happy to say I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I hadn't thought about it like that before. So I appreciate you saying that. And it puts some things in perspective. Just I think yesterday my husband was talking to me about those ratios that you mentioned, but it was an article he read, and they did a study. And they had two control groups. One, they said, I want you to make as many pots, like crafting pots, ceramic pots as you can. We want to crank out the numbers. And then the other group, they said, I want you to make these perfect pots, as perfect as they can be. Well, what they found out was, as far as quality goes, the numbers came out way better. They had more quality pots because the perfection over here, they had too many arguments about what they were going to do, how they were going to do it, scrap it, it's not perfect, and it stifles you. So that kind of freed me, because I know sometimes I don't want to start things. I don't want to do something because it needs to be perfect every time, right? And it's not. 70% of the time, it's going to be not usable. But if you do it more, if you go through the quantity, you're going to get the quality. So that's what I got from all of this. And it just tied into that article. So thank you so much for dealing with our mindset and helping us on that. So thank you, thank you. And I do have a few announcements. This coming Saturday, we do have Mr. Shedrick White's Zoom. We're going to have what we call now Travel View. And so for those of you who weren't fortunate enough to attend ITQ, we've got some recaps. We've got some more things to talk about in the business of travel in regards to what you can do now as we're coming out of the pandemic, how to get educated, all of that good stuff. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Zoom, and that's posted usually in our team pages. If there's anyone on here that is not in a team page, please make sure you connect them, you put them in, you add them, you recognize it, send it to your sponsor, however you need to do it. Make sure so they're getting the information. You want to plug into that. And then, of course, we have Super Saturday, and that's going to be amazing. Not only are we doing the three-way call, not the three-way call, but like PS3, but we're going to do PS3 with Zoom. So how to do Zoom 3 ways. And that's going to be just a little tip. I think Orlando Moore is doing that. So plug in. That is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look for the flyer, you know, let your team know. It's going to be a great Saturday. And let's see, I hope you are all on the IMV as we have new partners that are coming on the Inspirational Morning Vitamin Call every morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 15, 20 minutes of just inspiration, not just about business, but about life. And then the last announcement, y'all covered it, convention. I heard a lot of talk about convention. That is great because I know my whole career changed at a convention. I didn't take it seriously until I went to my first convention. So the good news about it, all of our new people, you have 30 days to get the early bird price, $159. The convention is going to be in Dallas, Texas. It's August 26th through the 28th, so you have time to prepare. The rooms are still available right now. Go ahead, make that investment in yourself. I promise you, you will be so glad that you did. And for those of you that missed the early bird, right now it's only $229. So log into your back office, get your tickets. They are going to sell out. Don't you know it? They are going to sell out. Maybe you have a couple of more weeks, literally. So make it happen, make that sacrifice. I know it is a sacrifice, it is, but I promise you it'll be worth it. All right, any other announcements, directors? Any other announcements that I might have missed or you want to call our attention to? No? All right, all is well? Okay, so we are still, oh yeah, we're just under 10, so we're great, we're great, we're great. All right, I know, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for spending your time, for building your dreams with me. This is just amazing and we are growing. Make sure that you get all of your new partners on next week as well. We want to grow it. We want to have 100 so that I have to extend the Zoom bigger, go for a bigger account, and we can see each other. And then when we get to convention, it'll be a great family reunion. How about that? All right, that is all I have for tonight. Take care and we will see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, Joy.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Did you still want to get those notes? I'll keep it up just a little bit.